Let's break down another practice SAT reading and writing question that asks us which choice completes the sentence so that it conforms to the conventions of standard English. Again, in these types of questions, really essential that we understand different punctuation and grammar rules and sentence structure. Again, another tip is to try to eliminate incorrect answer choices so that way we can be confident that we navigate to the correct answer choice. So again, let's break down which answer choices are incorrect and why they are incorrect. First, answer choice A. Art with a semicolon between the second part of the sentence where it begins with Monet's water lilies. This is grammatically incorrect because a semicolon is used to connect two independent clauses, which we don't have here. So a semicolon would be grammatically incorrect because Monet's Water Lilies, Van Gogh's Starry Night, and Da Vinci's Mona Lisa among them is a list. It's not an independent clause, so that would be incorrect. Answer choice B, art with a comma, is also incorrect because we ultimately end up with a comma splice, which is when a comma improperly connects two parts of a sentence without the correct relationship. So this would be grammatically incorrect as well. And then C, art with the M dash, again, is incorrect because an M dash is really used for interruption, further emphasis, or some sort of abrupt shift, which we don't have this here as well. So it's not the best answer choice either. So this is why the best answer choice for this question is going to be D, art with a colon. And that's because a colon is used after an independent clause to either introduce a list, a further explanation, or some sort of clarification. And this is what we have here. We have an explanation of following this, which says Monet's Water Lilies, Van Gogh's Starry Night, and Da Vinci's Mona Lisa among them. So that's why D is the correct answer choice. It's time for another practice reading and writing SAT question. Again, this type of question asks us which choice completes the sentence so that it conforms to the conventions of standard English. Again, in these types of questions, we really need to understand our grammar and punctuation rules and clauses such as independent clauses and dependent clauses. One of the best tips for these two are to look for incorrect answer choices and eliminate them, and then navigate to the answer choices that are correct. So let's break these down. Again, when we look at answer choice A, overhead with a colon, this is going to be incorrect because, again, a colon is really meant to introduce a list or an explanation or some sort of emphasis on something. Again, we're not doing this here between overhead and the sun would not break through for hours. Answer choice C, overhead with a comma, is incorrect because we actually have two full sentences, and because of this, with only a comma between two independent clauses, this would create a comma splice, so this makes this answer choice incorrect. Also, answer choice D, overhead with no punctuation, is incorrect because we also would then have a run-on sentence. We need some sort of punctuation between overhead and the sun. So this would actually make answer choice B, overhead with a semicolon, correct because both parts before and after the blank space are complete sentences. So we have two independent clauses here. Therefore, a semicolon is the correct punctuation to connect these two closely related independent clauses without using a conjunction or anything else like that. So this would conform to the conventions of standard English, making B the correct answer choice. Okay, let's do another quick practice SAT reading and writing question that asks us which choice completes the sentence so that it conforms to the conventions of standard English. Again, in these questions, we really need to understand punctuation and grammar rules and sentence structure. Again, in this one, we're trying to figure out which punctuation is or is not needed between air and cheering. So again, we really want to look at the incorrect answer choices and try to navigate to which answer choice is correct. So first, starting with answer choice A, air with a colon, this is incorrect because a colon, again, is meant to introduce a list or a further explanation on something, and we don't have this here at all. So it makes this the incorrect answer choice. Again, with cheering and celebrating with their families, this isn't introducing something like that. Answer choice B, air with a dash, is also not the best choice because a dash is really meant to cause some sort of interruption or dramatic pause. We don't have this here either, so it's not the best fit. C, air with no punctuation. If we don't have any punctuation here, we end up with a run-on sentence, and that's because ultimately answer choice D, air with a comma, is correct because when we look at the sentence more closely, we actually have a participle phrase with cheering and celebrating with their family. So we need to use a comma to separate an independent clause from a following participle phrase. So that's why D, air with a comma, is the correct answer choice. Okay, let's do a practice SAT reading and writing question. In this type of question, we are asked to answer which choice completes the sentence so that it conforms to the conventions of standard English. So in these types of questions, we really need to understand sentence structure like independent clauses and dependent clauses, in addition to punctuation and grammar rules. Also, we want to focus on eliminating incorrect answer choices. So let's discuss why each incorrect answer choice is incorrect and ultimately navigate to the correct answer. So when we look at answer choice A, success with no punctuation, this is actually going to be incorrect because we need some sort of punctuation to break up success and passion. So A is incorrect, it creates a run-on sentence. For answer choice B, success with a dash, is also incorrect because the dash is really used to provide some sort of interruption or dramatic break in the sentence. We don't have that here, so that also makes this not the best answer choice as well. For C, success with a comma, this is also incorrect because the comma here would actually create a comma splice, which would make it grammatically incorrect. And finally, D, success with a colon is correct because a colon is used to introduce a list or an explanation or a further definition, and that's what we're doing here. We're providing an explanation or emphasis on that one key ingredient for success, which is passion. So that's why D is the best answer choice here. Okay, let's quickly do a practice reading and writing SAT question. Again, this is one of the questions that asks us which choice completes the sentence so that it conforms to the conventions of standard English. Again, in these types of questions, we really need to understand grammar and punctuation rules. We also need to understand sentence structure and the different punctuation that is or isn't needed. So we need to understand or pay attention to independent clauses, dependent clauses. And so in this question, we are asked to find what punctuation is or isn't needed between expected and thunder. So again, one of the best tips for these types of questions is to eliminate incorrect answer choices so that way we can ultimately navigate to the correct answer. So if we look at answer choices that are incorrect, we can see, for example, answer choice B, expected with a colon. This is going to be incorrect because, again, a colon helps to introduce a list or some sort of further explanation or summary. Again, when we say thunder cracked overhead as the sky turned black, we don't have that here. It's not explaining why the storm rolled in fast. So this would make this one incorrect. C, expected with a comma, is incorrect because we actually have two separate independent clauses here. So if we just put a comma, we create a comma splice, which is grammatically incorrect. When we put punctuation with a comma in this type of sentence, we would also need a coordinating conjunction, and we don't have that here. So that's why C is incorrect. D, expected, is also incorrect because we have two independent clauses, and therefore we always need some form of punctuation to link these two independent clauses together. So ultimately, answer choice A is correct, expected with the dash here, because, again, we are creating some sort of interruption into this answer choice, right? We're saying the storm rolled in faster than expected, and then we have this interruption, which a dash is one of its purposes is for this, by saying then we have thunder cracked overhead as the sky turned black. So we have this really further thing happening in the sentence, and so the dash here creates that interruption into this sentence. So this is why option A, expected with the dash, is the correct answer choice.